And next up at UFC Fight Night, Morono taking on Kavanagh. We've got Kris Moutinho taking on Cristian Quinonez. Carlos, who you got in this matchup?
I'm taking Quinones in this one. My only worry in this fight will be if Quinones tires himself out trying to go for the finish early if he doesn't get the one and done finish against Moutinho. Because Moutinho's durable, he can take a shot, he can come back. Um, as of late, he's been stopped, but I mean, he can take a few shots. And I just think that if Quinones can get him out of there, it's possible. First round, he can lay him out. But I also think that if he doesn't get the finish, he's going to need to pace himself to get this done. And in his past fights, he's not one of those guys that just, empties the tank in the first round. So I don't see any way Moutinho's going to come back in this one. I feel bad saying this about Moutinho, because, we just watch him pretty much get fed to slaughter to some of these fighters. But the kid's tough. He keeps coming back to he wants to be there in the UFC. I just think I was just kind of surprised, to be honest with you, to see that he was still in the UFC, number one. But number two, yeah, I would love to see him get a win one day, but this isn't going to happen on Saturday. So I think Quinones is going to get it done. He's probably going to get a finish in the second round, but that's how I feel. What do you got, brother?
Yeah, I'm going with Quinonez here. I think the only unpredictable thing about this fight is Moutinho's hair color that comes to the octagon. Let's be honest, but I think Quinonez is a guy here that I think the only real kryptonite that he's shown so far, especially in the UFC, is obviously getting his back taken and choked out. And Moutinho's isn't a guy that I'm worried about, kind of out grappling him, wrestling him to the ground and taking the back and choking him. I think on the feet is where this one's, pretty much plays out. Cristian Quinonez is a decent boxer, has nice kicks. He's got good counter striking as well. When you saw against Barcelos, he had a couple of nice counter strikes in that fight. I think Ronnie Barcelos is a guy that's very still, even at this point in his age, is still underrated, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad loss. I did pick him in that one. And I do think that Quinonez here has all the skills to be able to beat a guy like Moutinho, who's not UFC level. I think Carlos hit the nail on the head. The UFC really just keeps this guy around in Kris Moutinho, excuse me. I think they just keep this guy around to be, lamb to the slaughter, and I think that's exactly what happens here on Saturday. I think Quinonez is just going to be able to beat him up on the feet. Obviously, Wellmaker was able to get the finish on Kris, but I think Quinonez, again, is a guy that's naturally a born finisher on the feet, and he could definitely do the same, even if it's just a series of volume punches. We saw that how Sean O'Malley was able to finish him with a series of volume of him taking a volume amount of shots, but I think Quinonez is going to beat him up here on the feet with the striking. I don't think this one plays out on the ground, and we're looking at another UFC loss here for Moutinho. So we'll maybe place bets on what hairstyle he comes with to the octagon, but other than that, it's all the money's going to be going on Quinonez, in my opinion, this week.